Hello, I'm the cat toy lady, and I have another fun live toy for you. I know I'm going live a bunch recently. It's not something I plan on doing all the time, but today I also had some bigger things to talk about. So next week's video will not be a live, it'll be a pre recorded that you can skip through quickly, don't worry. Um, for today's live, though, ooh, it's a jellyfish. This is a toy that drives my cats bonkers. And the best part about it is the strings on here are paper, but I use a chunky Chanel on the inside, and it has this sewn together rope that's really thick on the inside of this. So it's not something that's just like a one bite chomp and break off. It holds together really well. It's very meaty and dense, so it's like biting into an animal. This cat toy drives my cats nuts. I have been playing with one of these toys for 3 or 4 years now. Um, I've had to refresh them, but this style of toy for a long time. Um, and it just really is, it's very enticing for a cat. Even my live under the bed, scared of everything kitty cat will still come out for that toy. He's very selective on what he comes out for. And let me get my chat pulled up here so I can actually see if anyone's in here and talking with me. So bear with me while I stare at my phone. I can still talk at the same time because God knows I can talk. And hello, cute. I see you're joining me. I think you're new to my channel. So welcome. Thank you for joining me. Um, if you don't know, I am the cat toy lady. I worked for a cat toy company for years. I also am a registered vet tech, so everything's about safety. Like with this toy we're working on today, the strings are paper. So if they do bite off a piece and swallow it, there's nothing that's going to get anchored in the stomach and cause an obstruction. It's just going to move through. Um, oh, you're not. You just changed your name. You're not new to the channel. Well, hello again then. Um, I'm really bad at people's names or names in general. So, maybe I'll remember that one. It's easier. If you're a cat or a dog, I can remember your name. The human that's attached to them, maybe not. I recognize faces. I can spot a dog that I worked at a clinic, and they were a puppy, and I can drive by and be like, "Oh, that's so and so," because I recognize the dog with the owner, and I can say the dog's name and its last name, but that's as far as it goes when it comes to names. So, okay, maybe I should move this. I can feel the heat coming off of it. I when I was getting ready, I stepped next to it and glued my shirt. Oh, look, there's still more glue. All right, so I am going to get started and we will bust out this toy. I can show you exactly how I'm doing it. And then if you have any questions at the end, I'll be glad to answer them. I do want to point out this, if you can see, hopefully it's not reversed on you. It says, "Help me donate toys." I now qualify for what's called a super chat. It can be anything from, I think, 99 cents up to whatever you want it to be. It's donating to help me be able to donate cat toys. If you don't know, I send cat toys around the country to rescue groups for their go home kits. I want every cat that goes to their new forever home to have their very first cat toy. And right now, I have some around. Oh, I am donating these wands. It costs about 12 cents a piece to make, and then I have to ship them. So now that my channel is monetized, I'm not pocketing any of that money. That money is going towards shipping costs and making toys. And when the craziness is over and I get to go back to schools and start making cat toys with different elementary and middle school kids, I am going to use that money to be able to buy the supplies to be able to make toys with them and teach them about donating toys and making their own. I work with a lot of the STEM schools in the area to be able to teach kids, you know, different STEM careers, which is science, technology, engineering, and math. So let's get started now that you know about the super chat button that you can hit. Anything is appreciated but not expected, just saying. All right, so if you missed it, and hello, Mr. David. I see you, I've seen you on many channels before, not just my own. And again, this is the toy we're making. I am going to show you how I make it. It's really easy. And the strings that are on here are paper, and then the inside is a chunky chenille that's really thickly braided and sewn together so it doesn't fall apart easily. So that is what we are making. Here, maybe I can prop it up so everyone can kind of see. Ooh. And that's probably too far away for you to actually be able to see it now, but you know, it is what it is. So I'm just going to start prepping everything. I do have my paper rope. You can get this at many craft stores. For some reason I can't find it at the Joann's, but Michael's has it. And I love about every quarter, the old colors for the quarter are put on like 50% off. So some of these I buy for like $1, which is nice. So I have lots of different colors. You can also use, and this I got at the dollar store, so, you know, cheap. The raffia paper. Here, I have this one open. It's kind of crazy. You can use that. It's the stuff that people use for gift wrapping that can open up into bigger pieces, or it can be little ribbons. It is just paper, so you can use it too. So I have my colors out. And you can mix and match. You can do just one color of paper rope. You can do 8 different colors. It's up to you. And then I have my chunky chenille. Hopefully that's not reversed on you. This is Walmart. $4.99, I want to say, or $5.99 for a really big football of it. It comes in lots of different colors. The one I made right here, I use my burgundy, but I think I'm going to go with the pretty teal. There is an option too. It's not as pretty to the eye, but you can use the white and get white paper rope, and it works on that flash, the movement theory when it comes to playing with a cat. Of it doesn't have to be something big and flashy. It just has to have the white and black color balance to it, like shadows. If you've ever heard of flashpoints on a cat, just the little bald spots on them. That's one way that they communicate. It's just those subtle little twitches in the bald spots. This works on that same principle, that you can make it an all white, and it picks up on that, just the hunt instinct with the movement versus having colors. Because, you know, cats, there's lots of different theories, but they don't see color the best. Some studies say mainly reds and blues. Others say mainly blues and greens. I don't know why there can't be just one study that agrees with another, but if you look it up, you're going to see like every color of the rainbow, basically, with some studies picked up. Basically, they all agree it's shades of gray, though. So they might be able to see the color, but it's not as bright and vivid as we see it. So remember that. The colors are more about what we like versus what they like. And put my football back together. All right, so to start with, I have everything like hanging from the sides of my new table. I love this table, by the way. We're just going to cut 8-inch pieces. Did I cut? Oh, no, there are my scissors. 8 of the paper strings and 1 of the chunky chenille. By the way, the chunky chenille, I'm now seeing it at both Joann's and Michael's, and a slightly skinnier. So it's like a medium-sized chunky. If you ever see the stuff for baby blankets, it's only like 1/8 of an inch in thickness, and then this is close to an inch. It's more of just under 1/2 an inch in thickness. It's really neat. It will give a good wiggle and flop back and forth, yet it still has that braided interior. So when you're picking out chunky Chanel, make sure you're feeling it to make sure you feel that thick braided core to it. I wonder if I can actually kind of show it to you. Maybe towards the end, I will show you what it looks. Oh, I lied. It's right here, so I can show it easily. Try to get it to focus and not on me. Ooh. There we go. So you can see that braid that's on the inside. It's sewn together. That is what you need when it comes to the chunky Chanel. There are some chunky Chanels that don't hold together very well because they're not braided. It's just a twist. You don't want that. So back to cutting. Excuse me. So we're going to cut 8 inches. I got a tickle in my throat. And I do recommend when you're dealing with, of course the scissors on the other side. When you're dealing with the chunky Chanel, use fabric scissors when you're trying to do this next part that I'll be showing you. You don't want to use your cheap scissors. It will make it hard on you. But first, with the cheap scissors, go ahead and cut 8 inches of everything. So 1 of your chunky yarn and 8 of your paper rope. I think I'm just going to do the one solid color today on this one because I think it'll be pretty with the burgundy and the teal together. And you can just eyeball. It doesn't have to be exactly 8 inches. At the end, you can trim things up and make them pretty if anything's sticking out. But really doesn't matter. I mean, I say that a lot with my videos, but, you know, cats, they like to kill their toys. You don't have to make them something that's going to stay perfect forever. Yeah, perfect. I've been in the cat world too long when I find cat jokes like that, play on words, really amusing. Yeah, as someone recently wrote into me and said that I was blanking weird, I wrote back, thank you. To quote Alice in Wonderland, you know, all the best people are. So let's see. What kind of string is that? This is called paper rope. It is just a 2mm twisted paper. So it's really good to make crafts out of for your cat because it's a whole lot safer than anything else that you could be using for them. That's a string. You have to be very careful when it comes to strings and cats. It is amazing the things that I have had to help remove from cat stomachs. Okay, so I have 7. I need 1 more. I can't talk and count and cut. Imagine that. I can talk though. Alright, so let's get some of this cleared out of the way. So yeah, this, I think full cost, when you're not using a coupon or anything at Michael's, these are about $4 a piece. And of course, Michael's always has coupons. And then, like I said, at the end of the quarter, every season, they put last season's color on sale for usually at least 50% off. If not, it can be all the way up to 90% off at Michael's. So definitely look for those. All right. So I have my strings cut and dropped on the floor. Let me grab that. All right. So you know how I showed you the braid a minute ago? That is what we're going to cut on next. So I'm going to kind of show you. I will take the scissors right along the edge of that braid, and we are going to cut probably just a little over 1/2 inch off of fluff at the top. So you can see where that core is. I'm going to cut right along it. It's easy to hug the braided part of it with your scissors. It doesn't want to cut very easily. So I just kind of trim it up. Oh, so I put my finger in my way of showing you. I will warn you, you will find this blue fuzz everywhere if you're not careful. It has magic. All right, so just, I know it's kind of hard to judge, but that's about 1/2 inch is what I left just sticking up. And then clean up your fuzz before it haunts you later. Trust me, it's magic. It doesn't shed when your cats are playing with it, but when you trim it, that stuff sticks to everything. All right, and then you're going to take 4 of your strings, and just to let you know, they do come in 2 thicknesses that I find a lot at the store. One is a skinny 2mm and the other is a 3mm. There's not a whole lot of difference. You can use both. I haven't noticed that one falls apart quicker than the other or anything like that. So what we do is I'm going to take 4 of them and line them up in my fingers to where I have about, 1/2 inch sticking up, and I kind of bunch them together. Then I'm going to have to untangle this. Oh goodness. Tangle web I weave on my wheel. Okay, there we go. So then I'm just going to run glue, not at the very top. I'm going to drop down slightly and run glue along it. And I am using my cool glue gun, the low temp. That way I don't fry my fingers. And then I take that nub that we just cut. Make sure that, let's see, can you see on that better? There. I stick it in it, just like that, and then take my fingers and I bunch it together. I just kind of do a pinch in between. Any glue that sticks off, you can just peel off. But there, it's stuck to one side. Then you're going to take your other 4 pieces of your paper rope, line them up again just the same way, where they're sticking up but bunched together, and they aren't easy to manipulate. So if you have a piece that's kind of sticking off to the side, you can twist it and it goes right back. So I try to keep everything really bunched together. Let me wipe this off a little. There we go. Okay. So I'm going to, here we go, run the glue along it again. Just a big blob that goes across all 4 pieces. And then I'm going to stick that opposite side that doesn't have any red on it. I'm going to stick that in it and pinch everything together and kind of twist, twist as I press it all together. And you can see there's little pieces sticking up. I can flick those off. Goodness. Okay, there we go. So you can see we're just taking 4 of the pieces and that string and we're wrapping it around 1/2, and then we go with 4 more pieces and wrap it around the other half. That way that those strings are just kind of encapsulating the chunky chenille stem. Any glue that's sticking off that's not truly attached, just peel off it. You don't need it there. In the chat is my husband exploring with the nug, and yes, I have explained my new super chat. I will explain it again as soon as I'm done with this next step. But If you do donate to my super chat, you get your name up here. Ooh. For everyone to know you did it. All right. So what we're going to do is just wrap glue all the way around. You can see it's just a big blob. Give it a second to cool. And then I put my fingers in it and I just kind of squish it back and forth and roll it. And what we're doing is just working the glue all the way around and squishing it in. It's nothing too pretty. And then you end up with gooey fingers. This just rolls right off. And again, I'm using the low temp glue gun, so I can touch this almost immediately without any blisters. This glue gun is a dual temp, so I have a little switch that I can go low or high. Best thing in the world. And then any of the pieces that you see sticking up here, I'm just going to go ahead and trim the glue right there. So that way we don't have so much excess on the top. The next step, that way we can kind of make it look, we'll say, prettier, and it helps keep things from falling apart, is see how we have the cap here? It's a pin cap. We are just going to, you can seal from any type of pin you want. It is best to get one with bigger holes in the end. See how this one has big holes versus this one has 4 little holes. It's just easier to use the bigger hole ones. But we're going to seal a pin cap and take our wire clips, and I'm going to drop down just over 1/2 inch, so really almost 3/4 of an inch, I'd say. And I'm just going to start squeezing and clipping. And don't worry about it not being pretty. We're going to pretty it up. Yee. After I trim one more piece, there we go. Okay. So, take sandpaper just to get rid of some of the sharp edges that are on it. You know, this is the fun part. And if you know me, notice how it's still in its package? So I don't have to touch the sandpaper. I have this thing about sandpaper. I really hate touching it. It gives me the heebie-jeebies every single time. It really grosses me out. Every time I've had to use a sanding block in a video, you don't realize that I'm slightly dying inside just by touching it. Seems traumatic, but it's one of my things. Okay, so the edges are all smoothed down, no sharpness. You don't want to poke a kitty. And then I am going to take about 4 inches of wire. This one is my 26 gauge wire. You can use wire or stretchy elastic string. I couldn't find mine in my chaos, but you can use stretchy elastic string too, like they use for bracelet making. But really it's anything that you can make a loop with that can withstand being pulled on. Because you want your cats to be able to tug on the toy and that part not break. So I'm going to cut about 4 inches off of my wire. Almost lost the cap in the pattern. And then we're going to fold the wire. I'd probably say maybe trim about 5 inches. Give yourself a little bit more to work with than I just did. But you're going to stick, if you can see here, the wire in the cap and push all the way down. Then once you do that, working with wire, I have just my little tweezers-ish type. If you're working with string, just tie a knot. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the very end and stick them together. But I'm going to kind of put my finger in between here, there, just to keep them to where the whole thing doesn't twist. And I'm just going to give a good twist at the top. And then I'm going to double it over. Basically, we're just creating a knot at the end of one side. but we don't want the whole thing to twist together. So this is the fun part. It's just getting the wire to manipulate how you want it. So you want the wire to be able to lock together and not come apart when it's pulled on. So that's why I'm just kind of twisting it over. And you also don't want any sharp edges that will be able to stick out either. So if you can kind of see here, I'm just twisting the pieces around each other. All right, and there we go. So you can kind of see it's really ugly. It doesn't have to be pretty. Don't worry about that. Then you're going to take 4 of those pieces of your paper string and stick them through that little hole. It's going to slide all the way down to where it's glued together. And then what you're going to do is just tuck that glue spot in the cap, and you want that part that you just twisted together to come all the way up to the base of that glue to where it bumps up against the bottom of the glue. So you want the wire to kind of get caught on the glue itself. And then you're going to pull up and pull all that glue into the cap. If it helps, use your little holders of whatever form or fashion you have. And then I am just going to spread out the strings to where they kind of go 360 all the way around. And if you can see, since this cap's almost see-through, you can see how it fits up in there. So my glue section starts from like here up. And the glue can't come apart now because there's nowhere for it to expand. And then we have our top that we attach our wand toy to, and our toy is done. So it wiggles, it moves, all the little pieces that stick out to the side really entice cats. They will go totally nuts for it. And if they eat a string, it's safe. I mean, how cool is that? I really recommend getting some of the paper string to be able to make your own toys out of, even if you're not making my toys, but making any toy. It's just so much safer, and cats can chew on it. It doesn't have a bad taste. Trust me, I licked it. I had an old boss that, she would chew on everything to see if it would be enticing to a cat, and yeah, the habit stuck with me. I mean, it sounds gross, but it works. And so going back to the super chat that Exploring with the Nug mentioned, I am trying to raise money to help be able to pay mainly shipping costs. It's about $6 for every box of cat toys that I ship out. I am shipping throughout the country. I do donate a lot to local places, luckily, that I don't have to ship to, but I want to be able to share with rescue groups throughout the country. So, you know, doing a super sticker or a super chat that you can see the button for in your chat right now does really help. And every time someone donates a super chat, they get their name or their nickname that's on here added to my little cat head that I have made. Let's see. Woo! There, you can see it better now. So I've got my little wax crayon to be able to write on there. You can see my glorious handwriting on here already. I'll try to write your names neater than that. But yeah, anything does help. And if you have a rescue group that you want me to send toys to, let me know. Maybe let them know that I'm going to be writing them, because I don't get a lot of emails back recently with my last bunch that I sent out. You know, I want to send an email asking if they want these toys, because not everyone may want them. But I'm not getting so many responses this past week. I'm sure these rescue groups would like these toys, but I think I kind of get filtered into their junk. So let them know to be expecting an email from me. I can include easy toys like this. I can work with them if they don't want particular toys. Maybe I can work on some other ones for them. I'm very flexible when it comes to trying to help out like rescue groups. And that is the toy. I mean, it's not very hard. You just attach it to a wand. This wand is like $3 when you order it online. It's super cheap, and this one telescopes down. These ones, because they are so cheap, don't last the longest. It's already been glued back together on the end. Um, it happens. It's cheap. I'm like, my big girl, she's got a lot of weight to be able to yank on toys with. But, so this is the one of the toys I made. And here's the one we just made together. Nice and cute and chunky. You can kind of see this one's a little bit thicker than this one, but they still have that good braided core to them, which I highly recommend when you're looking for chunky Chanel. For some reason, Walmart doesn't ship that chunky Chanel. You have to get it in store. But they have lots of colors of it. And it's super cheap. But at Walmart, I have not seen the paper string. I always get that at Michael's. So you do have to kind of search around. Of course, you can get basically everything on Amazon. But on Amazon, you can't tell with the chunky Chanel if that core is braided or not, or if it's one that's just twisted together. So definitely look for a braided one. It does help. The twisted one, when the cats start to pull on one end of it, it just starts unraveling. So be very careful about that. And I did want to let you all know I'm making myself a schedule. There are some really cool toys that are coming out. Last video I talked about one that I was going to try to make with a mouse that moved. I didn't like it. So you won't be seeing that one now. But in case you didn't see last video, the easiest cat scratcher in the world to make yourself. It was an exercise. This is only half of it. And one of those, oh gosh, what do they call them? Brain parts. An exercise roller. And it's that same consistency as pool noodles. You just cut it in half. I got it at the store Five Below, $5. And so $2.50 per scratcher. I have one upstairs right now that the cats are using, and this one I'm saving to be able to show you all. But if you can cut something in half, you can make this toy. And the texture just drives them nuts. Their claws really dig into it. It doesn't shred as easily as you would think it would. So, nice and easy. I have 2 different types of speed bumps. That's what the little bumps that sit on the ground are called. For cat scratchers, they kind of mimic logs. If you've ever seen a cat outside, they love to kind of get all 4 legs up on a tree branch and really start going to town clawing at it. They do the same thing with speed bumps. And occasionally I see when they do that crazy run around and attack everything, they do like full body like wrap around and start rabbit kicking. Doesn't matter that it's supposed to be something they stand on, they just kind of bear hug and go for it. But so definitely look out. I have 2 different types of speed bumps that you can work with. I do have a lot of less expensive toys, but I am mixing them up with some of the bigger things that people want to see. I will go ahead and announce that next week's will be another play on the cat wheel. And oh my goodness, yes people, I already have video of it that it works, because I've had, I'm sure if you've ever heard my lives and my rants, a lot of people that get mad that I have no video of my cats on the wheel. Yes, there's lots of reasons for it. One, my cat outgrew the smaller wheel. She was a kitten when I made it. It's just experimenting to see if you could even use dollar store material to make a wheel. It's only 30 inches, so it's more of a kitten size than a 17-pound cat that I now have. So it holds her weight still, but she can't comfortably use it. And my son kind of scared her of that one. He kept putting his little Hot Wheels in it and using it as a racetrack, because he would spin it and watch the cars race. So she went to get in it a couple times, and the race cars fell on her. And she won't go near it now. So it's actually, I'm like staring at it. It's over there in my garage. The other wheel I made, which I could get my cat to use, my husband erased the tape of while he was sick, because we were trying to record while he was sick. The only thing that she would do is walk on it while I held some chicken. It wasn't the greatest video. And then him being sick and a grumpy butt at the time, he erased it. And I thought the next day when I donated it, the girl that was going to try to take it, it wouldn't fit in her car. She has a little Mini Cooper, and Mini Coopers cannot hold 4-foot wide cat wheels. After seeing it next to it, the Mini Cooper is 4 feet wide. So somebody else took it, and I don't know who. I know that they're getting to use it, but I can't go stalk them and like hunt them down and get a video of a cat on it. It's not me. So I'm making another toy that is on that same running motion, but it's not necessarily a wheel. But it is something that my cats are using. Granted, I still have to hold the piece of chicken up or treat. Because, yeah, food motivated cat. But I can at least show you that yes, it works. If you have a cat that actually wants to exercise, it would work for them. So yeah, so that's next week's video. I'm very excited. I've been working on it for like 2 weeks now, so I could get it just right. So later today, and probably like as soon as I'm done with this video, I'm gonna go buy more parts for it because I already made loud car. I hate that loud car. I already made my prototype, but you don't want to see it already put together thing. You want to actually see how to make it yourself. So I'm going to go buy the rest of the parts for it today and start filming. And yeah, it should be fun. We have cat beds coming up, or cat towers, because I have to say, awesome cat tower that I made. I did have to reinforce after the video was made with some arches. So I've learned that 17.5-pound cats jumping down onto foam board does not hold up. It holds up fine for my 10-pound cat, but the fat girl, it doesn't work. So I have a second tower that I need to make because my fat girl has, she's territorial, we found out, with this cat tower. The other tower I made before, she wasn't territorial of. Everyone used it. It was fine. This tower, if my old lady, my 14-year-old, goes and tries to use the tower, the other cat comes out of the woodworks and attacks her. So she needs her own tower that can be just hers. And I'm going to do a little bit different of a style, and I'm still figuring it out exactly. But it won't be just foam board this time. I learn every time I make something how to reinforce a little better, how to do it a little differently. So yeah, it's going to be a good tower, but I don't want it to take up as much space as that one did because my living room is running out of places to put stuff. Because at the moment I have the other running device for the cats, the big 5-foot tall tower. The A-frame cat scratcher. If you know of anyone in the Atlanta vicinity that would like some toys donated to them that are larger, I can hook them up. I'm running out of room. But I think that covers everything, unless, just to let you know again, when I am doing my live cat videos, which will only be like once a month. I'm not going to keep doing them back to back like I have been. You can now hit that little $sign button and do a super chat. And the super chat will go towards money that I am not pocketing, but is going towards money that will pay for shipping and making cat toys that are being donated to rescue groups around the country. So, and if you do donate through Super Chat, you get put on the Super Chat Cat. Your username or name, whatever you prefer, will be added to my board here. So, thank you all for joining me today. Hopefully, you make yourself. Oh, I thought this one was attached. Hopefully, you make yourself and your kitty cat some more toys. I highly recommend the jellyfish. It is a big hit in my house. Yeah, it's one that they can play really rough with, and you don't have to worry about it falling apart so easily. So good for destructive cats that you want to play with a wand toy. So don't forget, as I always say, go make your cat some toys. You need to, for their sake. All cats need to be able to play at least once a day, if not twice a day. And it's really good for their brain. It can help keep away things like dementia as they get older. And it helps keep the waistline down a little. Not that I have room to talk. But thank you all for joining me. Now go make your cat some toys.